Ever feel like you could unlock a whole new level of connection, both personally and professionally, if you just knew the right keys?
Yeah, definitely.
Today, we're kind of handing you a master key ring. We're taking a deep dive into these, well, timeless principles of making others feel valued.
Right, drawn from that foundational wisdom in how to win friends and influence people.
Exactly. But we're not just summarizing it, are we? We're
Yeah,
really digging in, trying to extract the actionable gold. Stuff that can genuinely shift how you interact.
totally. Think of this as like your accelerated path, building stronger bonds, boosting your influence, and, cultivating that real loyalty.
Hmm.
Our mission here isn't just to list the principles, it's to explore the nuances, the practical ways you can use them, ways that can lead to real breakthroughs in your relationships.
Okay. And to get us there, we're going to look at 7 core ideas. We'll kick off with the power of genuine interest, often underestimated, I think.
Definitely.
Then we'll dive into sincere appreciation, why remembering names is such a big deal, the art of really listening.
The active part.
Talking in their interests, making people feel genuinely important, and finally, that tricky skill of offering gentle guidance.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's dive right into that first one. Cultivating a sincere curiosity about other people. Sounds simple, right? But what's the actual magic there?
Well, what's fascinating is how it taps into something really deep in us, basic human desires.
Go what?
Like when you genuinely ask about someone, you're basically saying, hey, your thoughts, your experiences, they matter.
Oh, okay.
And that immediately starts building rapport. It creates that feeling of being heard, being understood. It's almost like social validation. People just respond well to it instinctively.
That makes total sense. It's like sending a signal, I see you.
Exactly.
And beyond just that initial connection, this genuine curiosity,
Uh-huh.
it can actually open doors, can't it? Unexpected ones?
Oh, absolutely. You learn about their viewpoints, their needs, and that can lead to collaborations you didn't expect, or finding ways to support each other, even business opportunities.
Right. Things you totally miss otherwise.
Totally. And then there's just the simple fact that, while people naturally gravitate towards those who show real interest in them, it just makes you more likable organically.
Yeah, definitely more likable. So what happens if you don't have that genuine interest? What's the downside?
Well, it creates this palpable distance. People are surprisingly good at sensing when you're not really listening.
Mhm.
Or when the conversation just keeps circling back to you, it leads to those misconnections we talked about.
Right. Overlooking insights, potential partners, even friendships, just because you weren't paying attention.
Precisely. And maybe the worst part is the negative impression it leaves, that lack of curiosity. It can easily look like
Oh,
arrogance
yeah.
or just being self-absorbed or
Sure.
plain disinterested. Not exactly great for building strong relationships, is it?
Not at all. And you can kind of see this play out in how companies interact, can't you? Like Zappos comes to mind.
Yeah, good example.
Their whole customer service reputation seems built on agents taking time to really get the issue beyond just the surface stuff. That active listening, it shows they're interested in actually helping.
Right. It's not just a transaction. And think about American Express, too, with their personalized service. They try to anticipate needs. That suggests they're interested in knowing their cardholders as individuals.
Or even Apple, when you go in and someone takes the time to figure out your specific tech problem and gives tailored advice, that's showing interest in your situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have the opposite, right? We've all dealt with companies where it feels totally robotic.
Ugh, yes. Reading from a script.
Exactly. No interest in your actual problem. You just feel like a number, a ticket in a queue.
Or colleagues who only talk about themselves, their wins, their projects.
Mm.
Zero curiosity about you.
Yeah, that creates a pretty chilly vibe, doesn't it? Makes you feel kind of invisible.
It really does. And the source material has this great story. Edward M. Sykes Jr. from Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
He kept this big account, apparently, because he always chatted with the soda clerks and the sales staff before talking to the owner.
Right, he built relationships with them.
And when the owner thought about switching suppliers, those clerks actually vouched for Sykes, saying how genuinely interested he was in them. That connection saved the account.
It's such a powerful illustration. Showing interest beyond just the main decision maker can have these huge ripple effects.
Exactly. So how do we actively use this to, build influence, build loyalty?
Well, it starts with a conscious shift, really. Focusing outwards. Ask those open-ended questions. Questions that genuinely invite people to share.
Not just yes/no stuff.
Right. And critically, you have to actually listen to the answers. Don't just wait for your turn to talk.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
We all are. But, in a work setting, ask colleagues about their projects, offer help. With customers, really try to grasp their underlying needs. Show you're invested in finding their solution. That sincere curiosity, it's foundational.
Okay, foundational. Let's move to principle number 2 then. The power of sincere appreciation. This one really resonates because, like William James said, and the source brings this up,
Yeah.
the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. It's not just nice, it's a need.
It really is a fundamental need, and when you meet that need, the benefits are huge.
Like what?
Well, first off, it's a massive morale booster. When people feel their efforts are seen, valued, it just lights a fire under them, boosts enthusiasm, job satisfaction.
Makes sense.
Secondly, it's powerful positive reinforcement. It encourages people to repeat whatever behavior you appreciated. You praise someone for going the extra mile, they're way more likely to do it again.
Right, you get more of what you reward.
Exactly. And just at its core, showing sincere appreciation strengthens relationships. People feel seen, connected, valued on a deeper level.
And what if you don't appreciate people? What's the fallout then?
Oh, it can be really corrosive. People start feeling resentful, taken for granted, demotivated.
Yeah, I could see that.
It leads to this tangible drop in effort. Like, why bother putting in extra if nobody notices or cares? And over time, that lack of appreciation, it seriously damages relationships, erodes trust, weakens those connections, personally and professionally.
And we see this in company cultures too, right? You mentioned Zappos before.
Yeah. They often get cited for celebrating team wins, recognizing individuals, public praise, rewards. It builds that feeling of being appreciated.
American Express too, maybe with those personalized thank yous or exclusive perks for loyal customers. That's appreciation in a customer context.
Definitely. And even a high-pressure place like Apple, while maybe less overt, recognizing top performers, acknowledging customer loyalty through programs that's showing appreciation, it has to be part of their success.
And conversely, we've all probably known workplaces where good work is just expected, never mentioned.
Right. You feel like a cog in the machine, your contributions vanish into the ether.
Or dealing with a business where you make a purchase and there's not even a simple thank you. Feels pretty crummy.
It does. The source even tells that story about the farm woman
Oh, yeah.
who, after years of thankless work, finally served her family hay for dinner just to see if they'd notice. It's extreme, but it highlights that feeling of being unseen.
Wow. Yeah, that hits home.
It does. And Charles Schwab, the businessman, the source highlights how he attributed so much of his success to his ability to, quote, arouse enthusiasm by appreciation and encouragement.
So he really got it. Praise fuels people. Criticism kills motivation.
Exactly. He understood that fundamental human drive.
Okay, so how do we make this actionable? To boost influence, build loyalty?
It's about making appreciation a conscious, regular practice. Look for opportunities. Offer sincere, specific praise when you see good work or positive actions.
Specificity is important.
Very. Not just good job, but I really appreciated how you handled that difficult client call with such patience. It shows you were paying attention. In teams, acknowledge contributions publicly. Thank customers for their business. Show you value their loyalty, that genuine appreciation. It's incredibly powerful for building strong, lasting bonds.
Okay, powerful stuff. Let's move to number 3. This one feels almost simple, but apparently packs a punch. Remembering names.
Yeah, it seems small, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the source stresses that a person's name is, to them, the sweetest sound. It's about personal recognition.
Right. Using someone's name, it's like a basic sign of respect.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement.
Exactly. It makes them feel like an individual, not just, another face. It creates a more immediate personal link.
And there's a subtle compliment in there too, isn't there? Like, you were important enough for me to remember.
Totally. It smooths interactions. People tend to be a bit more receptive, more cooperative when you use their name.
And the downside, forgetting names.
Well, it can make people feel insignificant, overlooked, like they didn't make an impression.
Yeah, that stings a bit.
It can damage first impressions, too. And just generally, always forgetting names hinders relationship building. You might miss out on deeper connections because of it.
So which companies get this right? You mentioned Zappos again. Their agents use names a lot, right?
Yeah, it's often noted. Using the customer's name naturally throughout the call makes it feel much more personal friendly.
American Express, too. Probably trains the relationship managers to remember Client names, preferences,
Hmm.
adds to that bespoke feel.
Likely. And even in an Apple store, when they call you by name for your appointment or during help, it cuts through the bustle, makes it feel more individual.
And the opposite. We've all gotten those dear customer emails.
Ugh, yes, instantly impersonal. Or staff who just never remember you, even after you've been there loads of times. Makes you feel like just a transaction.
Yeah. The source even mentions that bank manager in Paris getting upset about a misspelled name. Shows how much it matters to people.
It really does. And historically, Andrew Carnegie apparently made a point of knowing workers' names, believed it created a better atmosphere. And FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, he clearly understood the power of using names, made a real effort.
Okay, so practical takeaway. Make the effort, learn names.
Absolutely. Repeat it when you're introduced. Try associating it with something memorable, feature, shared interest, whatever works for you.
Like a little mental hook.
Exactly. And then use it naturally in conversation. It's a small detail with a surprisingly big impact on how people feel about interacting with you.
Okay, good advice. Principle 4. Being a good listener
Huh.
and encouraging others to talk about themselves. This feels related to the first point, but distinct.
It is distinct, yeah. It's less about your curiosity driving the questions and more about creating the space for the other person to share, actively enabling them.
Ah, okay. Creating space.
Right, because let's face it, most people are primarily interested in their own stuff, their own lives.
True enough.
So by giving them the floor and actively listening, you're telling them their thoughts matter. And that has huge benefits. You gain incredible insights, their perspectives, needs, worries. You build trust. People confide in those who truly listen. And honestly, giving someone your undivided attention is just a really powerful way to make them feel important, respected.
But if you're a bad listener, what happens then?
Obvious stuff like misunderstandings, communication breakdowns, but also it really damages relationships. People feel disrespected, unimportant if you're always interrupting or looking bored.
Yeah, checking your phone while someone's talking.
Exactly. And you miss opportunities too. Vital info, new ideas, chances to collaborate all gone because you weren't really turned in.
You see companies focusing on this too, right? Like Zappos trains for active listening.
Big time. Their goal isn't just to hear, but to understand the core issue. MX's personalized service relies on listening carefully to individual needs.
Even Apple support, diagnosing tricky problems, often starts with just carefully listening to the user describe what's happening.
Absolutely. And we've all experienced the opposite, right? The chronic interrupter. The person who's clearly just waiting for you to stop so they can talk.
Ugh. Yes. Leaves you feeling totally unheard.
The source even tells that story about the troubleshooter who fixed a long-running customer complaint just by sitting and listening for hours, letting them vent, letting them feel heard.
Wow, just listening.
Just listening. It shows the power of giving someone that space. And there's that great quote from Charles W. Eliot, the Harvard president.
What was that?
Exclusive attention to the person who's speaking to you is very important. Nothing else is so flattering as that.
Flattering. Interesting way to put it.
Yeah. And another point from the source, a journalist noted how many celebs were actually terrible listeners, too wrapped up in themselves.
Okay, so how do we get better at this? How do we listen to build influence and loyalty?
It's about conscious practice, active listening, full attention, eye contact, nodding, asking clarifying questions. Show you're engaged.
Put the phone away.
Definitely put the phone away, encourage them to share, and really fight that urge to interrupt or jump in with your own story. Just listen. It's profound, makes people feel valued, builds real connection.
Okay, profound indeed. Principle 5 shifts from listening to talking, but talking in terms of the other person's interests.
Right. It's about tuning into what they care about, what motivates them, finding that common ground.
Makes sense. People naturally pay more attention when it's about something relevant to them.
Right.
Their hobbies, their goals.
Exactly. Your message becomes way more impactful. And showing interest in their interests, that conveys empathy. It strengthens the connection.
And if you don't do this, just talk about yourself or things they don't care about.
Well, they tune out. Simple as that. Disengagement. It makes it really hard to build rapport if you're always stuck on your own channel.
Yeah.
And you miss chances to find common ground, to build something deeper if you never explore what actually interests them.
So, company examples. Zappos asking about how you'll use the shoes or your lifestyle.
Yeah, trying to tailor recommendations. Amex sending offers based on your spending habits that's talking your interests.
Apple advisors asking how you plan to use the computer before recommending one. It's about your needs.
Exactly. And contrast that with those awful generic marketing emails, totally irrelevant,
Mm.
easily ignored because they're not about you at all.
Right. The source had that example of the ad agency whose letters just talked about themselves, felt completely flat.
Yeah, totally self-absorbed. And then there's the great story about the baker, Henry Duvernoy.
Oh yeah, trying to sell bread to the hotel.
Right. Getting nowhere until he found out the manager was passionate about this hotel executive society, the greeters.
So he switched topics.
Completely started talking about the greeters. Suddenly the manager was all ears, ended up getting a huge order and an invitation to join the society.
Wow. Just by shifting the conversation to the other guy's interest.
It's a perfect illustration. So to use this effectively, do your homework. Think about what might interest the other person before you talk.
Okay.
Ask questions to find out. Tailor the conversation. At work, understand colleagues' goals. With customers, learn their needs and show how you meet them. Focusing on their interests. It's a game changer for connection.
Okay. Which leads nicely into number 6. This feels like the heart of it all.
Mm.
Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely.
Yes. Dale Carnegie called that desire to be important the deepest urge in human nature. It's fundamental.
And when you manage to genuinely make someone feel important, what happens?
The payoff is huge. You build goodwill. They just feel more positive towards you. They're more likely to cooperate, to help you out.
Right.
And ultimately, it builds incredible loyalty. That feeling of being valued creates a really strong bond.
But making someone feel unimportant,
Yeah.
that's got to be damaging.
Extremely breeds resentment, alienation, fractures relationships. People who feel undervalued, their motivation plummets. They disengage. It just weakens the whole connection, creates distance.
And companies that get this, Zappos empowering agents to actually solve problems go the extra mile. That makes customers feel important.
Absolutely. Personalized follow-ups, too. Amex, with its exclusive perks, relationship managers, acknowledging loyalty, it all says, you're important to us.
Even Apper's attentive store support, the setup help, the community feel. It makes you feel like a valued part of something.
Totally. And we've all felt the opposite, right? Being dismissed, ignored, feeling like your concern is trivial. It's incredibly disheartening.
Yeah. The source even mentions historical figures, Washington, Catherine the Great, needing those grand titles. Shows how deep that need for significance runs.
It does. And that story about the teacher, Ronald Rowland,
Remind me.
he just told the student, Chris, who lacked confidence, yes, Chris, you are good enough. Simple affirmation,
Yeah.
instant impact, boosted the kid's confidence immediately, shows the power of just acknowledging someone's worth, making them feel important sincerely.
So how do we apply this consistently to build that influence and loyalty?
It's about actively looking for chances to genuinely acknowledge people's worth, offer sincere, specific compliments, recognize achievements, show their contributions matter,
In teams.
empower them, delegate, show trust. With customers, ask for feedback and show it matters, prove their opinions are valued. These sincere efforts, they're the bedrock of strong relationships.
Bedrock. Okay, final principle number 7. This is about gentle guidance, building confidence even when correcting mistakes.
Exactly. It's the subtle art of addressing shortcomings without crushing someone's spirit. It bundles a few ideas. No direct criticism. Praise first, mention your own mistakes, ask questions, not orders, let them save face.
Praise improvement, give them a good reputation to live up to.
Right. Yeah, all that. It's about fostering growth positively.
And the benefits.
Well, people are way less defensive, right? Positive framing works better than attack. It builds a growth mindset. Encouragement boosts confidence, makes people willing to try, to learn. And treating people with respect, even when pointing out flaws, that strengthens trust. Mutual respect grows.
Whereas harsh criticism
Breeds resentment, chills motivation, damages relationships, makes people resist change because they feel attacked.
So, company examples of gentle guidance. Zappos training probably uses constructive feedback, positive framing.
Likely. Amex focusing on learning from errors internally, not just blaming. Apple fostering innovation probably involves encouraging people during feedback, not just tearing ideas down.
And the bad examples. Managers who only point out flaws. Never anything good.
Yeah, creates a climate of fear, stifles everything. The source has that story of the manager yelling about a parking mistake.
Yeah.
Totally counterproductive.
Right. Compared to Charles Schwab, finding guys smoking where they shouldn't.
And just offering them cigars to smoke elsewhere. Brilliant. Address the issue without humiliation.
That's great. And the story about the mechanic, Henry Hankey.
Oh yeah, the skilled guy whose work slipped. Hankin didn't criticize. He had a supportive chat, reminded him of his past skill, expressed confidence in him.
And it worked.
Totally. The mechanic's performance improved significantly because Hankey preserved his self-esteem while guiding him, made him feel valued even while addressing the issue.
So, the takeaway for us,
Yeah.
when giving feedback,
Focus on the behavior, not the person. Start with genuine praise if possible. Be specific about what needs work. Offer encouragement. Ask guiding questions. Help them find the solution. Make the fault seem easy to correct.
essentially make them feel valued throughout the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That builds confidence, fosters growth, and strengthens that loyalty long term.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, the main message seems pretty clear, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Consistently, authentically applying these 7 principles, genuine interest, sincere appreciation, names, listening, their interests, making them feel important, gentle guidance. It's not just about being nice.
Not at all. These are real strategies for forging stronger connections, building lasting loyalty, and genuinely boosting your influence in, well, pretty much every part of life.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
And that brings us to maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about these 7 principles, how might focusing consciously on just one of them this week, maybe in one key relationship, one specific interaction, how might that subtly but significantly shift the dynamic for the better?
Ooh, that's a good challenge.
Yeah, something to reflect on. Maybe explore these ideas a bit further on your own.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking this deep dive with us today. We really hope these insights help you build even more meaningful, more impactful relationships. Ever feel like you could unlock a whole new level of connection, both personally and professionally, if you just knew the right keys?
Yeah, definitely.
Today, we're kind of handing you a master key ring. We're taking a deep dive into these, well, timeless principles of making others feel valued.
Right, drawn from that foundational wisdom in how to win friends and influence people.
Exactly. But we're not just summarizing it, are we?
Yeah.
We're really digging in, trying to extract the actionable gold. Stuff that can genuinely shift how you interact.
Totally. Think of this as like your accelerated path, building stronger bonds, boosting your influence, and, cultivating that real loyalty. Our mission here isn't just to list the principles, it's to explore the nuances, the practical ways you can use them, ways that can lead to real breakthroughs in your relationships.
Okay. And to get us there, we're going to look at 7 core ideas. We'll kick off with the power of genuine interest, often underestimated, I think.
Definitely.
Then we'll dive into sincere appreciation, why remembering names is such a big deal, the art of really listening.
The active part.
Talking in their interests, making people feel genuinely important, and finally, that tricky skill of offering gentle guidance.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's dive right into that first one. Cultivating a sincere curiosity about other people. Sounds simple, right? But what's the actual magic there?
Well, what's fascinating is how it taps into something really deep in us, basic human desires.
Go what?
Like when you genuinely ask about someone, you're